Hi everyone, my name is Breunna Stone, and this presentation is on my internship with United Families International. So the question of how I found this internship and how I got involved with United Families International really began with my family and advocacy classes on campus at BYU, Idaho. I really just learned who United Families International was and what they did through those classes, and it kind of got me interested in this kind of work. I knew that my mother-in-law too was involved with United Families International, so I started to talk to her just about ways I could get involved and ways I could really help. And then later on in my schooling, I learned of the student trip that BYUI takes to New York to attend the Commission on the Status of Women at the United Nations. And so last semester, fall of 2016, I applied to go on that trip, and I actually was accepted to go on that trip. And once I was accepted, I kind of started thinking of ways that I could combine this experience at the United Nations with my internship. And that's when my mother-in-law got me in touch with Amelia Hopkin. She is the Director of International Relations for United Families International. And so I just spoke with her and had lunch with her and found some ways that she really could use some help, and that's how I started the internship. So a few of my responsibilities as an intern for United Families International was really to get the students and all of the volunteers that were coming with us prepared for the Commission on the Status of Women at the United Nations. This is a conference that happens each year at the UN that United Families International participates in. So that was my biggest contribution, was to get us prepared to go. Through that, I engineered and created information and training packets for those who would attend. So that would include directories, maps, how-tos, direction, and really just whatever we would need to be prepared to go. So I created and put those together. And then I think the next biggest thing that I did was I made calls to schedule meetings with countries all over the world that would be attending this Commission on the Status of Women. So each country has what is called a mission, and so they have mission offices outside of the UN, and I would call those mission offices and schedule meetings with their ambassadors, with their delegates, with their first or second secretaries, so we could sit down with them and discuss where their country stood on the pro-family movement. So I scheduled those, and we were able to visit over 30 countries, so a very successful thing that we did. So I took care of many of those. And then I also wrote for United Families International's blog. And so if you go onto their website and you click on their blog tab, you will see a lot of posts about what's going on in the world today, and then also some posts about the role that we play as students as well as volunteers at the UN. So I wrote for them, and I've continued to write for them, which has been a great experience. And then the last thing was just attending the Commission on the Status of Women at the United Nations. The trip that we went on was a week long, where we attended many parallel and side events, so events that are outside the UN as well as events that are inside the UN, and that meant taking notes at those events, asking questions at those events. That can be pretty intimidating, but asking questions at those events to really change the conversation and the language that is used there to be more pro-family. So those were my main responsibilities with the internship. So there were a few ways that I helped United Families International at the UN this year. At the UN, I learned how vital it is and was to be ready and prepared and to be very organized when we get there. The schedule at the UN can be very demanding and can change very quickly. So being prepared for what's to come, for changes in meetings with different countries, events, if you're not prepared, you really won't be an effective advocate. And so that was probably one of the biggest things I did to help. Also, just my millennial viewpoint and presence at the United and I'm a woman, and so the Commission on the Status of Women is by women for women. And when you walk into a room at a event, you see people from all over the world, varying ages, standpoints, views. So to have someone that is my age and to be a woman at those events that is pro-family and that is willing to speak up really makes a big impact. And then also collecting information and asking prepared and thoughtful questions at the events that we attended. I would say that truly was one of the biggest ways we could help as students. Having feet on the ground, to be at those events, to be at those mission visits, to collect the information, to really know what's going on in the world is really important. That's important because as we know more of what ways the world is going, and what viewpoints and standpoints are being taken, the more prepared and ready we are to come back with pro-family language and to come back with ways that the family can strengthen society. And then the two pictures on this slide are just two of the mission visits that I went on. The first one is with Zambia, and then the second one was with Korea. And this was another way that I really could help United Families International, is being there and preparing to meet with these countries and to give them pro-family language and pro-family tools that they could use when they go in and speak with their countries and prepare for these meetings. So I don't think that there are really any ways or enough time to express how this internship with United Families really changed my life and changed me as a person. The people that I met there, whether they were students, volunteers, or people that I met from different countries, really made a positive impact on my life. And I think I became a true family advocate on a very macro level here. And this opportunity gave me the chance to learn about myself, to learn about some things I needed to work on, and to also learn that I have the knowledge, I have the power, and I have the determination to fight for the family. And I don't think I could have learned that through any other experience. And I think the knowledge and the experiences that I have will aid me throughout my entire life, and it really has changed my mindset about what's going on in the world, about myself, and the strengths and the abilities that I have, and I can enhance more as I fight for the family. These two pictures, the first one is of me when I had the opportunity to ask a question at a really high-level event, and then this one is of me just outside of the UN. And I think some things I learned about myself were just how I am empowered through my determination and my education from BYU, Idaho, to be able to fight for the family and to really be able to make a difference. There were a few connections that I had between my schooling at BYU, Idaho, and my internship with United Families International. I think one of the connections was the things that I learned in my advocacy class with Tim Rarick. Really understanding and knowing how policy and laws work around the family was a great resource and a great way to prepare for this internship and experience at the UN. The next thing I would pull from my schooling at BYU, Idaho are just the things that I learned about communication. Communication with students, with teachers, with people who are way high above you, and just communication in general, how to communicate well, and how to get your point across. As well as just through my schoolwork, learning to be very organized, to love the people that you work with and the people that are around you, even if they don't believe the same things you do. The interpersonal skills and the confidence too were two great things that I learned and worked hard on at BYU, Idaho, and I think the confidence really helped me to be able to stand up for what we believed in at the UN. Yes, I would absolutely recommend this internship to any of you who are marriage and family studies majors, whether you're a home and family emphasis, a policy emphasis. I do think that you need that kind of background to be able to do this internship. It's also a little bit tricky. I paired the Student United Nations New York trip with BYU, Idaho with my internship with United Families International. So if you do have the ability to apply to go on that trip around the same time that you are wanting to do your internship, I would highly recommend it. I think it is a great way to approach it. If not, I still would recommend doing an internship with United Families International. There's ways that you can work at the Utah State Capitol. There are a lot of different ways that you can help. If you want to do what I did, I would recommend getting in contact with Kelly Houghton. She is the president of United Families International, so I would get in contact with her. If you're wanting to do the same thing that I did with the New York trip and internship with UFI at the same time, I would get in contact with Amelia Hopkin. She is the person in charge of the international relations between the BYU Idaho students, United Families International, and then the countries that we work with all over the world. So I would also get in contact with her, as she will be a great resource to you to know how you can help. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend it.